I'm 100% for it. It got completely out of control. If one bank was doing it, the other banks couldn't afford not to do it. So it just spread through the whole system. And you get Countrywide or some of these mortgage lenders are generating the mortgages that go to Goldman or Lehman Brothers or whomever. And Lehman Brothers packages these mortgages, takes them, securitizes them, as they say, and sells those securities, pays off Countrywide, who goes out and originates more mortgages. And it was a disgrace. And no, I think I'm very much in favor of the bank regulation. I think there were companies that did not need to be bailed out, but once it started, I had no voice in it. But I think they went too far. But I think the banking regulation is not, what they're doing is not enough. And Goldman gets off without an $80 million fine. I happen to know a lot of Goldman people, and Goldman was probably the most active. They were all the big banks in New York were active, but Goldman was probably the most active. And Lehman Brothers, for example, was also very, very active in this subprime mortgage problem. And Lehman was Goldman's toughest competitor, and particularly in the trading business. And I've always felt there was something that wasn't quite right. Hank Paulson was a former chairman of Goldman Sachs, and he was Treasury Secretary at this time. And they let Lehman Brothers go bankrupt, the government, but they kept Goldman whole. And I've always felt that there was more than meets the eye with that. Washington's who you know, not what you know. So, but I was in favor generally of the bailout. But Goldman is making more money than they ever have in history. And profits are phenomenal. And one reason is Lehman is not around anymore. So Lloyd Blankfein, oh, thank God, our biggest competitor has disappeared. Come on, folks, we'll take care of your accounts.
Let's take one more question.
Yes, sir.
I was wondering, of all the things now that you've done, and certainly I was wondering of your list of things that you'd like to do, with your time remaining here, what kind of things you want to do? What's high on your priority list, those things you'd like to do in the next few years?
I'd like to retire. Isn't that right, Joseph? I got a young man that's with me here, Joseph Shin, came out this morning. He's one of my key advisors with the organization, Bessemer Trust Company in New York that I do a lot of business with. So isn't that true, Joseph? Wouldn't you say I want to retire? It's impossible. With the stock market, you can be anywhere in the world and still play the stock market. And that's one of the things that intrigued me, and that my uncle said that this is the easiest way in the world to make money, and I followed his advice. And it's been we travel a lot. I sat on over 30 boards. I think it's Spence mentioned. I've been trying to get off the last board that I'm on with Steve Wynn, but I'm sort of locked into that. But in any event, it's been, the luck of the Irish. as my father said, don't ever forget you're nothing but a shanty Irishman, no matter how far you go in the world. I wish he died when I was 21, so he wasn't around to see what happened to me. Thank you.
This is just a small token of our appreciation. Let's give a hand to John one more time. Thank you. Well, we appreciate all of you for coming. To Spencer Eccles, thank you for making this happen for the past 20 years. To the Eccles family, thank you for all of the support for the business school. Thank you, our honored guests of the school and John Moran. And students, thanks for coming as well. We've had a treat here today to listen to John and hear about his experiences. All of this wouldn't happen without the incredible work of an external relations staff led by Heidi Woodbury, and I'd especially like to call out Chris Bosman, who spent an inordinate number of hours today to try to help, as well as Carolyn Buma. Thank you very much to them. I hope you have a great day. We ought to be full of optimism. Look what kind of graduates the University of Utah can turn out, and go Utes. Thank you.